if we hold that 200,000 Bitcoin for the next 20 years, even though you see a flat line on the screen, the flat line is worth $3 trillion. So that's the value of doing nothing. Sometimes people think that you have to do something to make money. Sometimes the absence of doing awful and stupid things is making money. Doing stuff is highly overrated if the stuff is trading or selling your Bitcoin. The Lummis bill would acquire a million Bitcoin or 1.2 million Bitcoin. If you look at the consequences of that over the time frame, it's worth $16 trillion. In this case, there's a bit of reflexivity. If the United States starts to more aggressively stockpile Bitcoin, it's going to accelerate the growth of the network. It's going to accelerate capital flowing in the network. It's going to increase and expand the overall digital capital network. If we move to a triple max strategy, you'll end up with 4 million Bitcoin. That's worth $73 trillion to America. And of course, President Trump has laid out a guideline. We should be the superpower. If you want a superpower strategy, here's a superpower strategy. Acquire Bitcoin consistently. By the way, over what time frame? Consistently daily between now and the 0.99. 0.99 is January of the year 2035, the point at which 99% of the Bitcoin supply has been mined. The asset becomes effectively capped for all practical purposes because the last 1% comes out over 100 years. 0.99 between now and then, you've got 10 years for the digital gold rush. You should get your Bitcoin before there's no more Bitcoin for you. And you can see here, in this strategy, we acquire it consistently, and then we use surpluses from the US government to continue to save in Bitcoin. It's worth $106 trillion to the United States. And so what does that look like? Well, the Lummis plan, which is grand, is modest in some ways, and a modest strategic Bitcoin reserve plan neutralizes the national debt. Sometimes doing modest things are actually brilliant as long as you do the thing. It's like the people that bought just a little bit of Bitcoin in 2012. It was a modest investment. It made them billionaires. A modest thing 20 years in advance is a brilliant thing. If you're more aggressive, the triple max plan negates the national debt. The superpower plan creates a global superpower.
Dom, I'm going to pass it on to you, man. This is an incredibly exciting time in the United States, not only for it to benefit the people of the United States, but in the individuals of the United States start benefiting from number go up technology, start benefiting from Bitcoin.
Yeah, Nico, Opti, gosh, it's an honor as always, and shout out to the Simply Bitcoin fan base, one of the strongest in the game. Yeah, hearing everything you laid out, it gets me thinking about this. We all wish we could have been in the conversation when Bitcoin had a market cap of 100,000 and people were saying it'll never hit 1 million. We wish we could have been in the conversation when they were saying it hit 10 million and people were saying, no, that won't happen. 100 million, 500 million, a billion, right? 20 billion, 50, 100 billion, 500 billion, a trillion. At every step of the way, there's been people that have said, we're done. Bitcoin's dead. It can't, the bubble's here. We're at an inflection where if you're watching what Saylor is saying, you're going, the guy's out of his mind. He's crazy. It's not going to overtake gold. But all that is a replay of the same conversation that happened at every step along the way of the market cap. So at some point, you have to just learn Bitcoin and say, fine, I have to make up my own decision here. And for those of us that have learned Bitcoin, we know the trajectory it's on. So it doesn't seem crazy to us, but for people from the outside, it seems insane. Just know, for those sitting right now watching the predictions of the next cycle saying that's insane, you're in good company because there were people having the same reaction at each step of the market cap. So incredible stuff going on at the national level. I know their strategic reserve and the executive order is unsure whether it was going to happen. It continues to re-emphasize the importance of learning Bitcoin. We're no longer at a place of luxury where we can afford not to learn about Bitcoin, not to learn the why of it, and not to study what it means for the financial system and the legacy system.